Zooming in on music. Hello everybody. My name is Michael Gieler. I'm Artistic Director of Music Stages and viola player in the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra in Amsterdam. Today, I have the great honor to speak to one of the outstanding musicians from Ghana called Berima Amo. Amo is a friend of mine. We have done a project together, which we hope to continue. And Amo is a great singer, writer, trumpet player, and arranger. He's the embodiment of everything that makes African music great and special. And I'm very happy to be talking to him today. Hello, Amo.
Hello, Mikael.
So
wow, that was a great intro.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Accra, Ghana, in Africa.
Wow.
Yes, where the sun shines throughout the year, you know.
So what, I mean, most people like myself, I believe, have no picture when they hear Accra. So can you describe?
I do, right?
What's it like? What's the environment like?
Accra is hot, you know. It's fast paced. Everybody's on the move. There's a lot of traffic, but there's a lot of smiling. There's a lot of laughter. There's a lot of good food. You know, there's so much to see, you know, and so much to do, you know. And so, yeah, we have the place. Accra is like the city, so we have like the tall buildings and all that, you know. But I'm outside, a little bit outside Accra, so I like the peace, you know, without the car horns and stuff. So, yes, Accra is a nice place to be. A lot of green, you know. Yes, you should come. You should come once.
I would love to come. Sure. You have to invite me.
I will.
So you split your time between Ghana and traveling all over the place. And for a part of your time, you've been living in the Netherlands.
Yes.
But so I have a vague idea of what your life is like in the Netherlands and when you travel and do your productions and your music making. But what is your life like when you're in Ghana, actually? What are you doing?
Yes. When I'm in Ghana, I'm building a business now. So the first one is a music production house that grooms artists and trains artists to play African music. You know, so like basically everything that I learned in my 15 years of living in Holland, I'm trying to come and also give back to the community. So we have a stick in here called Better Music Africa. And that's what we're doing, like grooming artists. So that's what we're doing. The main crust of why I'm here. I'm here a lot.
Yeah,
grooming artists.
And you say we. Are there more people working for you, or is it a cooperation with several people?
Yes, I have several people on board. So we are 3 people that are running this. One is in the US. The other one is here, and then I'm coming from Amsterdam. So he also has some experience there. So we come together and we try to groom artists, and then we put them on the festival scene. We give them to record companies. And so, yes, we have Prince, I have Ezekiel, and then me.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And when you talk about grooming artists, are you talking about really young people, or are they already established in Ghana and just not known in Europe or in America yet?
Yes, so it depends. I have seen certain artists that I feel like, oh, we can really like group them if they added this touch and this touch to it, they could really like be well-rounded to present them to like maybe like the festival. So right now we are working with 2 artists because I'm busy myself. So right now we have 2 artists, you know, and on top of this building, we're building a whole complex, You know, it's under construction. The people are actually working as we speak.
Oh.
So we're building a whole space where artists can come in. We have rehearsal space, we have studio space, we have video and everything, like a whole multimedia space. So we can bring that quality work to, you know, when we shoot a video, I can bring it to maybe Netherlands one, and they go like, oh, it's quality enough to show, you know. So things like that. Yeah.
I hope it will be finished soon, so you can invite me and we can do some recordings there.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
When we spoke about this Zoom session and about talking to each other, you just told me before you would rather not make some videos in the neighborhood for security reasons. How come? Is it something that you can talk about, or would you rather not?
Yes. Yeah. I used to live in another town, you know, like in the middle of the city, and it was very noisy. And then when people hear that, oh, Berima Amo lives here, people come and knock at your door and they want to sit down and talk to you, you know, and things like that. And sometimes I have stuff to do, but then people want to sit down and talk and, you know. So I actually decided to move into this place where it's very quiet. Nobody knows where I am, you know. Then, so if I want to see people, I rather go to them than they come into me, you know.
So it's really for privacy reasons, and not because you're such a famous person in Ghana and everybody wants to come and see you.
No. I'm not so famous.
I'm sure.
No, I'm not famous. I actually don't have anything on TV yet. It's next year that I'll be putting things on TV. But people know me, yes. You know, and especially like the people that know me, they want to hang out with me. And then also you don't want people to know where you're living, and then because if people feel like you're coming from abroad, and then it might, you know, you have to, because where I'm living is really out of town.
Yeah.
You know, if anything happens, and even I call the police, it would take them a long time to get here.
Yeah.
You know, so there's nothing to be afraid of, but it's just for my privacy and a little bit of security.
I understand. So I won't tell anybody your address. Don't worry about it. So can you tell us, because obviously I come from classical music, and you also have a classical music background. But most people, like I, don't know anything about music life in Ghana. Can you tell us a little bit about it? What's going on there? Are there concerts? Are there concert series? Is there an orchestra? Do you have opera? Is there a conservatory? I'm so sorry for being so ignorant. So please enlighten us.
No, it's okay. They are good questions. Good questions. Because you see, I always say that African classical music and choral music is like one of the world's best kept secrets. So when the Europeans came here first, they realized that Ghanaians really like to sing in harmony. So one of the guys called Dr. Schioni, he wrote that. He was, is it a Norwegian botanist? He wrote that. He was like, wow, Ghanaians like. So there's a conservatory here. It's called Winneba School of Music. Okay, so there are concerts. This Christmas, there's so much happening. You know, it's like we've forgotten that the COVID is still there, but there's so much happening. You know, and so we don't have an opera house, but we have an orchestra. So later on next year we can do something with them.
Yeah.
You know, they meet in the city, and we can plan something nice between our stick and your stick, and I'll talk to them because I know them. So there's a classical thing here, and then also the Orthodox churches like the Catholics and the Methodists and the Presbyterians and the Anglicans. They also have the classical thing going. So, but a lot of them also sing it. They sing the classical, but also in our dialect. So, so a lot of like the John Wesley songs are translated into our dialect for them to sing. You know. So yes, there's so much happening now. It's like now everybody feels like the COVID is it's not a threat anymore, even though it is.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of concerts happening, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening in town.
So
there are plays.
Would you say that most of the music life, of the classical music life, revolves around vocal music, or because you have this, obviously, I mean, this, what you said, this great tradition of vocal music and singing in harmony, and I believe there is also a big Christian community, like you said. So yeah. Is most of music life, which we would call classical, is that based around singing?
There's some. Okay, so what is happening with the classical scene in Ghana is we only have one orchestra, and then we have the Winneba Conservatory, and then what is happening is that it goes hand in hand. So sometimes, like when I'm doing a project, like I invite, like say 4 of them to come and play for me or something. But apart from that, nothing is really happening with it. There's a show, I think on the 27th, that they are doing a classical, they are doing like a gospel with a classical. I think they stole it from our thing, though, because they saw our video, and the people that are doing it, they were liking the video and they were sharing it. And then all of a sudden I was like,
Oh, that's so nice.
So yeah, there's one Christmas classical thing going on, but it's a combination of, it's more of like a pop gospel, black gospel with a classical thing attached to it. And then on the 31st of December, there's this church called Central Gospel Church that they do a 31st night at the stadium. And then they actually also have the orchestra. And then they have classical singers. So they have opera singers, and then they have so that's what I know. Yeah, I think there'll be more, but that's what I know. Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, obviously there is so much more to music than just classical music. It's just, that's where I'm coming from. So that's my first question. But the music that you are making is much more of a mixture between various styles. I mean, you do like West African funk, you do soul, you do jazz, you do blues, and your music is very rhythmical. I mean, when we first worked together with my colleagues and we had big difficulties.
Well, you guys got it pretty quick. So
well,
the beginning was getting used to, but when you guys got the rhythm, it was flowing. So I was happy with that, you know. Yeah, so I basically play black music. So it's a combination of all black music from everywhere, from South Africa, from West Africa, from East Africa, from South America, from, you know, North America. So for me, it was very difficult when I came to Europe. One thing that somebody's a funk musician, somebody is a classical musician, somebody, you know, and we didn't grow up like that. You know, we start with classical, and then on that we built everything. You know, so it's like it's so bad that people expect you, if you say you're a musician, that you should be able to play all the instruments. That's how Africans are. So you go and sit by the piano, they're like, oh, of course you're a musician, so you should be able to play the piano. I'm like, no, I'm a trumpet player. They're like, no, but you're a musician. You know, so it's another. The expectations of musicians here is a bit different, you know. So it's now that there are some specializations that, you know, there's a jazz crowd, there's a high life crowd. High life music is our type of music, you know, like our type of funk, you know, the traditional music fused with Western instruments. So we call it high life. And so it's now that there's like separations are coming in. But when I was in Ghana, it's like you should be able to play anything. So yes.
Yeah, it's much less specialized and more general way of music making. The styles are more connected and interchanging in a way, aren't they?
Yeah. So for me, what I'll say is that I can best describe my music as rhythmic and mood. It's a mood. So if in the middle of the song I can hear a movement, that sounds classical. I'm not going to go like, oh, because I'm not a classical musician, so I'm not going to put that in. So the composition and the arrangement of the song always has to go with like a mood for me.
Yeah.
You know, so if I hear a blues scale or a blues chord in a certain place, we will play it rather than go like, oh, okay, we are not playing blues, we are playing African music. So, you know, so that's how I explore it. And we live in such a time that people now, because of social media and this Spotify and things, people listen to all sorts of music and can appreciate when you're being creative with different genres. So, but basically, my genre is the African music.
Yeah.
You know, behind everything that I do is some strong rhythms, something that, you know, speaks to the earth that I step on. You know, so yes.
Yeah, but music, of course, is always built on tradition. And I did, prior to this talk, I did a little research on Ghanese music because I was ashamed for being so ignorant. And I read that there was a composer about 100 years ago called Berima Amo, not Amo, Amo. So was that your great grandfather, or was it somebody completely different?
Yeah, you see, everybody actually in Ghana, everybody thinks that I'm related to him, and I don't correct them because it helps me out. So, so when someone says, "Oh, you are," people assume, "Oh, you are Ephraim Amu's grandson, right?" I'm like,
yeah, sure.
I'm like, whatever, you know. But yeah, that was one of our greatest composers, and he was such a, the way he lived his life was also something that was exemplary. So one of the major things he did in Ghana was that, you know, in those times when he was alive, what happened was that people weren't supposed to wear African clothes or African attire to church. And then he decided to change that. And so he had a lot of backlash. And to bring African drums into the church, you know, we had to go and pretend like we were Europeans and go, hallelujah. And he was like, no, we are Africans. We have to worship in our own way. We have to wear the dress that is our dress, you know, because wearing a suit in this hot sun is kind of crazy, you know. So that was one of his major contributions to the culture, apart from his great compositions. And I think one time we will play some of his compositions. It's amazing, amazing stuff.
That would be really nice. I was wondering, can you do me a favor? After this conversation, maybe you can send me 3 tracks of Ghanese music that you really like, that you really think people should hear to know about it. And only one of them is allowed to be from you. So 1 from you and 2 from other people. So that I'll put it in the description of the video so that people can get an idea of what are we talking about. Because most
should it be classical?
No, whatever you think is important. So whatever you think is representative for Ghanese music. 1 from you, 2 from other people. I'm sure, because talking is very nice, but actually people like to hear things. So if you have a link, you get much better idea. Oh, this what Amo is talking about. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, it becomes
actually
more concrete.
Yes.
All right, thanks. Before COVID, you were traveling all over the place. I mean, you spent some time in Amsterdam and then you went back to Ghana for your projects, but you were also traveling to all major cities, producing and playing. And I may say, I'm sure you're proud of it, that you also won a prize from the AGMMA award in London for best producer. So you're quite a known secret in the music world. But,
so you can call me an underground known So what is happening in Ghana music is that when the drum machines and the computers came, everybody switched to that, and then our high life music, which comes with instruments like the big band sound, that was gone. So what I'm doing now is trying to bring that kind of music back with instruments, real instruments, real musicians. That's why we shoot the videos, so you can see us playing it, and it's not like some computer generated something, because that has taken over the airwaves so much here, especially not only in Ghana, but in Africa, and with the people playing like dancehall. And that is fine, but we are kind of like doing the restoration work. So it's sometimes it's difficult to break through, because it's like people have moved on from that music, but we are trying to bring it back. So yes, we are trying to bring back that sound.
Yeah. So
gradually it's coming.
Would you say that this is your big task ahead of you now, to bring back this? Is this what you are most passionate about?
Yes. So this my passion, to bring back that sound, and our high life sound, because actually when people come to Ghana to look for musicians to go outside, they look for musicians that play my kind of music and not that type of music, because they feel like what we are playing, what I'm playing, is more representative of our African culture that people know. But then people don't do it so much, and those that do it, they are kept at the back, So what we are doing with the stick thing is to raise awareness. We organize. So next year we're actually going to do a festival, trying to promote this kind of music also throughout West Africa. So yeah, it's a passion of mine to bring this thing. It's a lot of work and money, but we're trying.
I think this is really important, because I think especially when this COVID thing is over, everybody will be so sick of computers and the unit.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So this unified content that comes out of these ugly boxes, and it's killing creativity in a way, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So last month we did we put together a festival here called Inchimu Festival, and a lot of the diplomatic community came out, like the expats that are living here, and then they were like, "Oh, it is so nice to hear live music again. Oh, thank you." Everybody was so happy. Like I'm in my room with my headphones with Spotify the whole time, and it was so nice. And even that we only allowed 100 people because of COVID, and the sittings were spaced, But yet still people enjoy themselves so much. So I know what you're talking about. I mean, there's going to be a big demand for music. People want to come out, and that's why there's a lot of demonstrations around the world also, because people, at least that's what that can allow them to come out, So yeah, we all can't wait for the COVID thing to end, so we can get back to our lives,
And then a very practical question is the government from Ghana, is that supportive at all of music, or is it all based on private enterprise, on private initiative?
Okay, so what I would say is that in principle, the government supports it, but not with money, because Africa also has its problems. Everything is not roses here, and so since Africa has its own problems, it's like, and the money is so little. By the time they finish giving it to healthcare, education, roads, and by the time they finish, the money is, by the time they finish sharing it, the money is finished. That So what we do is depend on funds outside. So I'm always writing letters. I'm always sending out proposals so that we can keep doing what we can do, because there are great talents in Ghana, but nobody will hear of them because they don't have instruments, they don't have places to go record, they don't have places to even go and learn. So actually next year we are planning to do like a secondary school focus school tour around all the schools in Accra. So I'm always writing projects to ask for funds. And yes, so any help is needed, because the government cannot. I wish that they can help, but to be practical, I don't think that I can depend on the government to help with anything, because the money is so little for so much things to do. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I hope that somehow you will manage to find your funding, because it sounds so glorious and important what you want to do. To bring out these talents and to make music on real instruments and give people this feeling of live music happening at the time. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about your hopes and dreams. I mean, we live in a time, apart from COVID, obviously there was also another big movement happening last year, or this year actually, after the killing of George Floyd, and it was this Black Lives Matter movement. And this had a huge impact all over the world, not just in the United States. I mean, there were demonstrations for Black Lives Matter in the Netherlands.
Yes.
And the Dutch are infamously not interested in politics at all.
In demonstrations, yeah, that was so shocking.
Yeah. And suddenly people come out and they say, "But this is important. We need to put attention to this." How do you see this? How do you experience this? Because this also results in quite challenging conversations, I would say.
So you know, we have been living the Black life all our lives, you know, and we see and experience what we experience. And sometimes we talk about it, sometimes we don't talk about it. Sometimes it's on TV, but most of the racism that goes on in the world is not on TV, you know. But this George Floyd thing actually resonated with everybody to a certain point where everybody felt like, wow, and everybody was demonstrating. So that was so amazing that it gave me hope for the world, that there are good people, you know, that people can see something and go like, even though I might not be a Black person, I can still relate to this, that this is not a good thing. So that was really an amazing thing, that we could all come together. And I hope that we can do that more, because there's only one human race and we only have one planet. We cannot go anywhere else, you know, and this borders and this they versus us, and, you know, this people versus that people, Germany and Holland, Ghana and Nigeria, you know, we are so divided just for the benefit of a few people. And I hope that we the people, the good people of the world, can rise up and do something about it. Martin Luther King Jr., the one from America, said something. He said that evil is when good people fail to act. You see, so I believe that when you see something that is not good, or you see something that somebody being mistreated, when I see somebody mistreating Michael, I should be able to get up and say something for Michael. And go like, hey, don't do that, it's not nice. You know, and build a better world for us and our children and our the next generation to come. So the George Floyd thing really gave me hope for the world, that there's something in us, there's this goodness in us that we can encourage. And I hope that I always sing songs about encouraging people to do good, you know, singing songs about African stories and things that will help people to think about the society that we live in. So that was great. That was great to see that.
Yeah. It's so nice to hear that from you, because obviously for a person like me, a Western European, it's an awkward discussion, and
yes, I understand.
And I had some projects also with colored people recently, and we had some serious difficulties.
Wow.
Finding one in another somehow, because many people are very sensitive, and rightly so, because a lot of injustice has been done, and they feel somehow now they luckily they feel empowered, and they feel like, you know, they're putting their foot down and saying, yeah, but listen to us. Now we are going to, I mean, and you can do that in many ways. You can do it in a like joyful way, like you do, or you can do it as a demand. And I feel like that the government and also public entities, they are starting to hear that, because I mean, I have this small foundation in the Netherlands, and I'm noticing that like government funds, for example, they're much more sensitive to those issues, and they really want to encourage and engage more people from different backgrounds to create and to contribute to the music world.
Yes, so that's a great point, you see, because and the conversation, even though it is uncomfortable, we need to have it. You see, so when something happens within a family and it's a tragedy, the family has to sit down, you understand, and talk about it. But the only the thing that really hurts about this thing is that when it comes to the maltreatment of Black people, let's say our brothers in America, or the colonialism that happened in Africa, we've not had a sit down to talk about it. You see, the Jews have sat down. There's been some talking. The Japanese, they've had some reparations. Some, you know, everybody that has been hurt, any group that has been hurt, they've had something. But nobody has said anything. Everybody. So if Michael, if I do something to you that hurts you, and I never say sorry to you or never approach you in any way, of course, when you see me, you're going to feel some kind of way. You're like, okay, maybe I will do it again. Or you understand? So it's a very sensitive thing. It's a very sensitive line that we have to walk. I personally, living in Europe for 15 years, I've met like real angels, people that have really helped me out, that are European. Okay, and so I have that experience with Europeans, some good experiences with Europeans. So I don't paint everybody with a broad brush.
Yeah,
you understand that? Okay, these people are like this, and we are like, no. Because of my experiences with Europeans, I've met some very good people. I've met some very bad people, all on both sides. So I have the way that I think about it and see it is a bit different. But the people that have this stark experience, that live in Black neighborhoods, let's say in America, or someone that lives in Africa that has not traveled before, you understand? Their idea of who a European is different. It's because we've not had any conversations. And our governments here are also not helping us. The governments in Europe are not helping. One time I took my daughter's book on geography, and I saw the pictures that they have of Africa in the geography book. I was so shocked. I was like, oh, it now makes sense to me why people view Africa the way that they view. Because the pictures that were in the book wasn't what represents Africa. You understand? I can take a camera and come to Europe and go through every village and take pictures of only villages in Africa, and then bring it back here and show it to Africans here. And they'll go like, oh, this is Europe. You understand?
Yeah,
and that's what people do. They only come to, when they come to Europe, when they come to Africa, it's like immediately they see nice things, they put up their camera. When they see something not nice and some weeds somewhere, immediately they put on the camera. You know, so everybody's view on Africa is skewed. Apart from the Europeans that come here, I know some Europeans, when you start to talk bad about Africa, they will be so mad at you because they come here, you know, and they love it here. And they are so shocked. They're like, why don't people know about the Africa that we come to see? Why don't CNN, BBC, Netherlands, all these people, why don't they show the Africa that when you come to Africa, you come and see the warmth? You know, we are not hungry. I've never been in a war before.
Yeah.
Ghana has never been in a war before. You know, so that idea that, we are hungry, we don't have water, there's water flowing in my house. You understand? I have electricity. You know, so these are some of the things that we need to, we also have to start to create content that, for instance, if Michael doesn't know about Africa, I have to show him the Africa that made me come here, what I love about Africa that made me come here. You understand? So it's my responsibility also to show my fans in Europe the kind of Africa that I know and love. Yes.
Yeah, and what better way to do that is than through music. So I'm really looking forward to
it's the
creating,
perfect way.
Yeah. And then
Yes.
and your lively description and your conversation, I'm sure it will help people to get enthusiastic. If I hear you talk, I all I want is take the next plane to Accra and go and have a look myself.
I'll be waiting for you at the airport. Like, hey, welcome.
I'm coming, I warn you.
Yes. Next year,
yeah.
we'll put together some nice program here. And then we'll do something nice. Yes.
And just a quick question, because as far as I know, Ghana is a well-functioning democracy, like right? Yes. Everything's kind of normal and sort of healthy within the possibilities, isn't it?
Yes. Ghana is restored. Alles is.
Yeah.
Everything is calm.
Wow.
So we just had an election, and most of my friends were calling me from Holland. They're like, "Hey, are you still in Ghana? They're going to have elections." I'm like, "Yeah, nothing is going to happen." So we just had an election. We've been having elections for the past 30 years, every 4 years, and nothing happens. So it's peaceful. We just had the election last week, Monday.
Yeah.
And everything is normal. So. Yes, it's a bubbling democracy. We choose a leader every 4 years, and it's yeah.
But let's say you were the president of Ghana. What would you do to change the music life in Ghana? What would you do?
So if let's say if I had money, because I'll never run for office.
No, I want you to be president. You deserve to be president.
Thank you for your vote of confidence. I'll tell the Ghanaian people. So if I was president, there's something that I saw in Holland that I really love. That almost like every neighborhood or town has a theater, and that's where like you groom talent, and like people in the community who come and play and stuff, like a 250-seater theater. Everywhere. So Bama has a Bama Park Theater, right? When you go to Rotterdam, every corner, like there's a lot of theaters, small theaters. That's one thing that I would love to do, because you can tell people's sophistication by the type of theaters and music and the arts. The arts is what tells the people the way people think, the way people live. And the hopes and aspirations of the people is all that collectively is in our art, But in Ghana, that thing has been stopped, because in the 80s they had to stop the music. Ghana, what our president did was that he wanted Ghanaians to go back to working with their hands. So the government started a technical-minded schooling system. So we used to have choirs and choral music and traditional music in school when I was growing up. But by the time I was done, they had removed it all from the school. And we all had to learn how to sew, cook, and build things, because that's the government felt like that's what was needed, So Ghana suffered from that until now that instruments has become a bit cheaper, that now live music is coming back again, because now people can actually buy the instruments. Even if they cannot buy the very expensive, they cannot buy my shagle, they can still buy a trumpet that is $200, and play, So that's what is happening. For me, I'll build theaters everywhere, in every neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll make sure that you become president in, let's say, 10 years' time, and then you can take care of that.
Thank you.
And what about the Netherlands? Because you also live in Netherlands, maybe.
Yes, in the Bama.
Maybe you will be one day. You will become maybe not prime minister, but let's say secretary of culture in the Netherlands.
My daughter will become the mayor of Amsterdam.
Oh, your daughter. So. Yeah, very.
Yes. I give it all to her.
Yeah. So what would you like your daughter to do about music life in the Netherlands? Because
yes, when I came to the Berimas, I realized that there was a rich culture of music and art, but it's not documented. You see, I came to meet all these great Suriname musicians, these great Antillean musicians, great Ghanaian and African musicians who had really like done great work, but nobody knows of it.
Yeah.
And there are so many little islands with the art world among the, let me say like the expats, let's say the Black people in Holland. You know, there's not a one thing like, okay, we are making our art great. You know, everybody's building their own thing. So I wish that in the art world, like there'll be some avenue, like on TV, on radio. You know, there'll be like, even if there can be one show on TV, on national TV, about music in the Berimas, that would be great.
Yeah. Well, obviously for me, it's much easier to make you president in Ghana, but
That's a good show.
but if that fails, we can always try to make a TV show in the Netherlands. Maybe we can manage that.
That's a good one.
All right. So
yes.
What's your schedule now in the next months? What are you up to? Because there are still some restrictions with COVID. Obviously, traveling is not so easy. So what's happening now?
So I was going to come to Holland in January for our thing and some other things, but I don't know. We have to see what they are saying about the COVID before we do that. So I'm now seeing what I'm going to plan. I have a team together, someone that works with me, and then 2 other people. We're going to sit down and plan what we can do and do a couple of shows we can do and just play music, you know. Everywhere I'm called to play, I just play, you know. And so, yes, nothing. We're planning some festivals for next year. Apart from that, just playing music, yeah.
And I'm sure with your music, I've experienced it, and I'm sure many people will do the same. Your music is so joyful and so positive and optimistic. So it will inspire many, especially in times like this. And I'm very much looking forward to working with you again. We have something planned in February, so let's hope that can take place. And of course, don't forget to invite me to come to Accra, because I'm dying to see you there and your wonderful projects.
Yes. Next year, by all means, we have to arrange something, because that would be a nice boost for the classical community. I remember when I was in the early 90s, we had some classical people come here to do some stuff. And since then, like, nothing has happened. And the orchestra here used to do a yearly event at the National Theatre, but they don't do that anymore. So, yes.
Let's do it.
I'm hoping that, yes.
Let's
do something, and then we'll see how far it is. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So thanks very much for your time and for this delightful conversation, as always. Take good care, stay healthy. And I hope to see you in February in Amsterdam.
Yes, we meet soon and make some beautiful music together.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Amo. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye, Michael.
Zooming in on music.